an interesting move from them. Yeah, I don't know how likely it is. You are listening. Hello, you're listening. Hi, hello, you're listening. Welcome. Hello, good evening. Hi, you're listening to episode 235 of Heroes of Handheld, presented by me, Chris, and him, Colin the Grinch Bird. You're a mean one over there, Colin, aren't you?
Mr. Grinch. Is it because like Halloween's almost over, we can now start talking about Christmas? As soon as 31st of October passes, it's Christmas decorations up, Christmas carols, Christmas music.
Well, I can see reindeers in the back of your webcam.
Well, the reindeers follow us throughout the year, and it's like what Charles Dickens said, how you should have Christmas in your heart throughout the year. When the cold wind blows, it chills you to the bone.
Did Charles Dickens say that?
Yeah, he did. Then he said, "There's no cheeses for us Mises," but that's another story. Honestly, that opening song from Muppet Christmas Carol is probably one of the best songs ever written. It's so good.
Are you aware of the fact I've not seen Muppets Christmas Carol?
Well, I'm not going to be too hard on you about that because here's the thing: I only saw it for the first time when I was at school. If I hadn't seen it at school, I would never have thought to watch it because I've never liked the Muppets. I've never been a fan of the Muppets. I'm not ashamed. I don't get them. I don't find them funny. But Muppets Christmas Carol is like the only Muppets thing I like. So I think you need to watch it once. And once you've watched it once, you're like, oh my God. Because you did that recently with a film. Was it After Christmas or there's a film you watched?
Yeah, every year there's a new Christmas film for me. So I've had After Christmas. I've had Love Actually. I don't know what this one's going to be.
Love Actually, I only watched for the first time last year, actually. Because everyone kept saying it's so good. And it was all right. It was all right. I don't really see what the big fuss was about it. I do like how Rick Grimes is there, like trying to bang Keira Knightley. Oh, but no, actually, is he trying to? Oh no, because she thought he was gay. Was that what it was? What was his story?
He was
gay, but he actually loved her.
He filmed her at the wedding.
Yeah,
and yeah, she thought he was filming the groom, but actually he was zooming in on her face the whole time, and it's really weird. It's so weird. Imagine you and Shona are getting married, right? You and Shona are getting married, and you're like, Chris, can you film it on your 90s VCR handheld camera recorder device? Yeah, of course. And then I spend the whole time zoomed in on Shona's face, and then suddenly it's Christmas Day, and you're sat there watching Doctor Who in your dressing gowns, cuddling up, and there's a knock at the door, and it's old Chrissy P. And I get the CD player out, and I start playing some shit carols, and I'm like, Shona, I've always wanted to do this. Let's go. It's so shit. I hate that storyline so much.
Yeah, it's not really romantic. It's just a bit weird and creepy.
Creepy. Yeah. He's his best friend.
And then he turns up and goes, no, Carl. Anyway.
The other creepy ones that you've got in that film, by the way, is Colin Firth, who manages to apparently like make a relationship despite the fact they don't even speak the same language, and then convinces her to like move in with him. Okay, but the weirdest one is when they send bloody matey from My Family over to America, and he sleeps with loads of women because he's British.
Yeah,
is that a thing?
Well, his name is Colin.
His name is Colin. That's true.
He's literally Nick from My Family, and he'll always be Nick from My Family. Oh no, didn't he do the BT adverts as well?
Yeah, he did. And do you remember he was rumoured for Doctor Who for a little while?
I could actually have seen him as Doctor Who back in his prime. Can you imagine? If he'd like gone from My Family to Doctor Who, what a jump that would have been.
My Family was good.
My Family was a dark time for comedy and sitcoms. It was all right to start with, but it sort of outstayed its welcome by about 5 years. And like Nicholas, no, who's the main guy in? Not Nicholas Lyndhurst. That's only
Robert Lindsay.
That was it. Yeah, like what was he doing? That's so good. What were we saying? Oh yeah, Love Actually, weird. Muppets Christmas Carol. You should watch it this year. It's good times. That opening song. It was sad. Like I say these references like to the lyrics in that song, and you just don't get it. So you need to watch it.
But our friends at home listening will have been like, "Oh, that's a bop, Colin. You tell him. You get him." So that's good.
Are you a fan of Christmas Carol?
Well, the Dickens book.
Well, yes, the famous book by Charles Dickens.
Well, I thought you meant the genre. Yeah, I like it. I've never read it, but I liked the adaptations I've seen and heard and stuff.
You've never read Boys 2, anyway. I don't know why I said that.
No, I've never seen Bad Boys 2 either. I like the Bill Murray version, isn't it? That was pretty good.
Murray. Oh yeah, there wasn't there? Scrooge, I think that.
Oh, was it Bill Murray or Bill Nye? I can't remember.
It was Bill Murray.
Yeah.
It's like
that was okay.
Scrooge or something. I've not seen that. I have not seen that film.
Well,
but there you go. The film you have seen is Bohemian Rhapsody. Anyway.
Yeah. It's is it the real life, Colin? Is it just fantasy?
It's just fantasy.
You'd love seriously, if people who are listening have seen Bohemian Rhapsody and you know how much Colin loves Greatest Showman, I really honestly think it's like Greatest Showman, but the songs are better.
That is, oh shit, that is, like, you made me drop my phone. I am shocked by that. No, I would say one band I would love to have seen live once, you know, with the full original lineup would have been Queen. I would love to have seen Queen with Freddie Mercury.
Well, watch this film because it's the closest you're going to get.
Isn't it just like an overlong, like, it's just like an impersonation, isn't it? It's like, isn't it just like all their...
Well, yeah, I mean, it is impersonation because they're actors.
Well, no, what I'm saying, it's not really like an in-depth story of Queen, is it? It's just like them on stage. Oh, look, here's when they were at Live Aid. Oh, look, here's when they did the We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions and watch the lyric.
You're listening to Heroes of Handheld, episode 235. This is the internet's premium handheld gaming podcast dedicated to all things handheld, whether that be Vita, Android, Switch, iOS. I'm really out of the loop. It's been 2 weeks since we've done this, and I'm forgetting the verve a little bit. I'm Chris. That's Colin. We normally run for about 45 minutes to an hour. We've got loads of good and interesting news this week, kind of variety of stuff. And Colin, I want to kick things off.
Right. What are you kicking off with?
I want to start off straight away and ask, what were you doing last Wednesday when the Grinch reared his head and leaked Smash Bros to everyone?
Now, this is somehow a story I've completely missed, and after reading up on it, I want to see these pictures. Do you have links to these images?
You can find them whilst I tell everyone what the deal is. So,
video, what is it?
Last week, we just searched Grinch leak. Last week, and annoyingly, we couldn't get it into the podcast because we published early last week because of a bunch of boring reasons. Nice. A post which I first saw on the Smash Bros subreddit, but was obviously, you know, NeoGAF and Reset Era and stuff, where someone on their Snapchat posted a very short video with the caption "Fuck Nintendo" but in French, and a pan across what looks to be like a long banner resembling the Everybody's Here Smash Bros poster that we've seen in art and we've seen on videos and stuff like that. And basically this quickly kind of kicked off, and it's been seen by a lot of people, and it's been known as the Grinch leak for reasons we'll get into in a second. So the actual leak showed potential leak, it could be fake, showed 5 new characters which hadn't yet been confirmed as part of this new lineup. Spoilers ahead: Ken from Street Fighter, Gino from Super Mario RPG, Banjo and Kazooie, Mac Ryder, Isaac from Golden Sun, and Chorus Kids as well, and Shadow the Hedgehog, but that's presumably going to be a Echo Fighter. So a bunch of new characters, and this was quickly being like scrutinized and torn apart and up and down, and people were kind of trying to work out all sorts of different ways of whether it's real or whether it's fake. And why it's called the Grinch leak, Colin, is because the person who leaked who potentially leaked it was the Smash Bros community found out that they work for a marketing company which had previously worked with Bandai Namco. And originally they thought they worked with one company. It turns out they worked with another company. But what's interesting is that in the background of the picture and the video, you can see some kind of half obscured images of marketing material for the Grinch, which is coming out later on. I think it comes out next month. It's, Grinch Christmas film. And this has led people are also doing marketing for Super Smash Brothers and Bandai, and specifically with Bandai Namco anyway. So presumably we're at Super Smash Brothers. So now there's this big thing of like, is this real? Because if you'd just seen those images, probably wouldn't have been. But the fact that you can see like this thing in the background, it lends quite a lot of credence to the idea that this person, is working for this marketing company. If it's real, it's huge, and there's a bunch of evidence either way. One of the lead things which people think makes it not real is because there's not a new Pokemon in there, and obviously normally we would get a new Pokemon. However, one of the reasons that people think it is real is because the marketing company that this person's supposed to work for has taken down a video which was like a studio tour on their YouTube. It was like, look at our studio, and they've taken it down, which kind of suggests like, oh, well, there must be something, or why would they take the video down? To stop people looking at the scene and tallying it all up and stuff. Also, the character Gino, who's not Gino. One of the characters, either Gino or Isaac, I think it's Isaac actually, is in this leak, and people thought was going to be announced at the previous Nintendo Direct. The previous Nintendo Direct was delayed due to an earthquake, if you remember. And one of Isaac's key moves is an earthquake move from Golden Sun. So now people think, well, maybe he was taken out because they didn't want to put, an announcement of a character who focuses on earthquake type moves into this late Direct. And there's a bunch of visual evidence which tallies up with this poster, where you can see that the poster looks like it had been re-edited around the time that it got announced that Isabelle was in it, and there's loads of evidence back and forward. But the key thing to know, Colin, key things, is that number one, Nintendo announced a Nintendo Direct for tomorrow at 2:00 our time, and presumably they've said this is going to be their last one. So this is either going to confirm or deny all the evidence. Like, this is it. This is going to be the big Direct for a lot of people who are into this. Number two is that I put on our Twitter, I posted, Smash Bros. Fans, do you believe the Grinch leak is real? Because, like, obviously I want it to be real because Banjo-Kazooie, you know how much I love that. But posting it on our thing, we've got almost 50 votes, which, like, quite a large number for us. And 80% of people believe in it, Colin. 80%! That's mad! Good. That's so big. Like, there's so much evidence in favor of it.
The Grinch. Well, I'm struggling to find the image where the Grinch is there, or the video with the Grinch in. I can't see it. I want to see the Grinch.
Okay, so well, it's not clear. It's like half of a Grinch or a little bit. It's not like the Grinch is just there. You need to use your Grinch view. But obviously this has led to loads of like fan art of things like the Grinch stealing Smash Bros from Sakurai, and it's been called Grinch Leak, and it's just like, even the thing is, even if it's not true, it's been such a mad week for Smash Bros. Fans because there's been so much speculation left and right on, is it true, is it not true, and all these like different theories and stuff about how Sakurai was meant to go back to Japan after E3, but what if he didn't go back to Japan? What if he went to lunch with Phil Spencer, because Phil Spencer's been to Japan, and Phil Spencer's one of the Microsoft Xbox heads up, and what if that's to see how Banjo is in the game? And I want it to be true because I want Banjo and Kazooie so bad. Imagine it, Colin.
And this all comes down to them announcing more characters that will be playable in the game.
Yeah, because as soon as
that would cause so much excitement.
Confirm either way, because if they come out and say, Isaac is in it, then that's going to be enough for people. But if they come out and say, Incineroar is the next character from Pokemon, then that's going to completely break the myth apart. So I could not be more excited for the Smash Direct tomorrow. I can't wait. I think it's going to be really good.
Smash Bros breaks the internet. Now, wouldn't that be a curveball if the Grinch was actually a playable character in Smash Bros?
Wow, yeah, that's true. That would be quite something. I want to find. Do you remember when I drew on Miiverse, Banjo not getting an invite, and then someone commented saying, "Haha, your Banjo looks retarded."
I do not remember that, but that sounds like something that would happen. That's lols.
I'll try and find it. In the meanwhile, Colin.
Yeah.
I think that's everything probably. What's going on? What's your first piece of news? What's going on?
Chris, should I be excited for Super Smash Bros? Should I be like,
yes?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The thing is, right? The thing is, whatever's in this game is going to be absolutely huge, and it's going to be so fun, and like I just can't wait. I love Smash Bros so much, Colin.
Frothy. When's it come out again? Give me the date.
December the 7th. Book the day off work.
Put the day off work. Yes,
Yep.
perfect, brilliant. Yes, I'm excited. And I'm excited because you're excited, and I can't wait to see all the new players that'll be playable and shit. So I thought maybe I've missed something here. You said that some new characters will be announced tomorrow potentially. That these
Yeah, well, they said it's the last it's the last direct they're going to do before the game releases.
I swear they said the last direct they did, that was the last, like that was all the characters that they were announcing.
No. They never said that.
Oh, yeah, maybe I imagine that then. Because such a huge roster of players. It's
almost, I think it's like 70, 80 characters.
That's really cool. And I hope, I mean, I've never played Super Smash Bros. As you know. I mean, are all the characters going to have unique abilities, or is it just going to be button mashing and they all do pretty much the same thing? Or
no, it's all the characters are all pretty different. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of different characters. But the thing is, you don't need to play. You don't need to learn every single character because you get to pick every time. So don't feel like it's intimidating because you can just play as Mario all the time if you want. Yeah, keep it peeled. Well, when it comes out, come around and we'll have a play.
Yeah, I'll take a train up to London, just a quick old trip up to London, and then we'll.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, it'd be fun to play online. I'd have to actually buy Nintendo's online services to do that, but we'll cross that. But Chris, do you remember a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago now? Oh my God, there's an image here of Henry Cavill as Geralt from The Witcher.
Oh, cool! Is it good?
Please, doesn't look right. Looks weird.
Oh,
weird. Yeah, he was good as Superman though. Anyway, right, remember a few months ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I can't remember, we announced that, or we didn't announce, but we gave you the news about the PlayStation Classic, which Sony are releasing. And for those of you who don't know, this is a mini version of the PS1 with controllers and pre-installed games. And we finally got the full lineup of games that will come included in your tiny PS1. And we did actually have like not a heated discussion, but I think we were both in agreement that we couldn't see who this would be aimed at and whether there'd be much uptake of this. Because Nintendo have done it with the SNES. They've done their mini consoles, the mini SNES and things like that. And they are very popular because they're a bit older than the PlayStation 1. And it seems to us, maybe it seems to me, that the PS1 isn't that old. When I think about the PlayStation 1, it doesn't feel like that long ago. You know, it's about 20 years ago now. What's it now? 2018. So 98. Yeah, I'd say it's probably about 20 years ago. But then it doesn't feel that much ago.
Yeah, it was 20 years because it was the 20-year anniversary a couple of years ago.
But then the PlayStation 1 was not a good time for gaming. Though obviously we have fond memories because it's probably where most of us started our gaming adventure. But when you look back to that time, the games they're releasing, fair enough, some of them might have been good, but the way they looked and the quality was pretty darn poor. Polygons left, right, and center, pointy breasts, pointy everything. It wasn't good. Those games look ugly as anything. I played the original Tomb Raider on my Vita when they had the PlayStation 1 Classics. I'd never played it before. It was clunky as anything. It looked hideous, and it just wasn't great. Like, we've moved on from this. Like, there's nostalgia with the old Nintendo consoles with the 2D and the 8-bit and 16-bit art style and things like that. But when it comes to the PlayStation 1 era and the whole polygon things like that, it just wasn't a great time. It wasn't a good time. So I don't get it. But forgetting that and my rubbish opinion, Sony and PlayStation have announced what 20 games will come included on the PlayStation Classic. So the games that you'll get pre-installed on the console, there's 20 games in total. Here we go. I'm going to read the list here. And Chris, if there's any games here that excite you, please do let me know. Any games that mean a lot to you, please do let me know. Right, let's start from the top. So we've got Battle Arena Toshinden.
I've never heard of that.
Cool Borders 2.
Never heard of that.
Destruction Derby.
Never heard of that.
Final Fantasy 7.
Iconic.
There you go. Grand Theft Auto 1.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. Intelligent Cube.
I've never heard of that.
Jumping Flash.
No.
You might have heard this little one. Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, keen. I haven't played that. I would be keen to give it a go.
Mr. Driller, which is my finishing move when I used to wrestle in high school. I used to give the old driller
Did you?
They tap out. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Now that's I played that.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's hard to play, but
Yeah.
interesting.
Rayman, number 1.
Yep,
Yeah.
keen.
Okay. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Nice.
Nice.
Revelations Persona.
I've never heard of that.
Ridge Racer Type 4.
Ridge Racer.
There you go. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Sounds cool. Siphon Filter. Now, the next one is the one I'm most excited about. Tekken 3, which was a great game. Love Tekken 3. So fun. Just play as Eddie. Go on your hands, put your feet in the air, and just kick them to death. It was the only way to do it on Tekken 3. And it's just a guaranteed win every time you chose Eddie.
Yeah, it was really hard to hit Eddie, wasn't it? Because you could just like, whoa, hey, annoy everyone out of the way.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Yeah, keen.
Twisted Metal.
Keen.
Wild Arms. It sounds like, the way I'm reading these out, it's almost like the Generation game. You know, at the end where they have that conveyor belt of things and they have to remember every single one to win them. Like it always ends with the cuddly toy, the big cuddly toy. It's like that. So they're the 20 games you're going to get. There's a few games on there that I would have thought would be on there but aren't, which is interesting, but I'm sure there's reasons for that. But the PlayStation Classic releases worldwide on December the 3rd, which is the 24th anniversary of the PlayStation's original release. It's going to retail for $100 in the US, $89.99 in the UK, €99.99 in Europe, and 9,980 yen in Japan. So, yeah, there you go.
It's interesting, isn't it, how some of those games have had recent remakes, like Resident Evil, and then some of them, it's like, it's weird that there's no Spyro and Crash, but then it's like, well, Spyro and Crash are being remade for PS4.
Probably a reason for that.
Yeah, but it's just odd, isn't it? Like, what's the?
I mean, I think
we won't do it, or
I'm interested. There's not many Ridge Racer, obviously, but there's not many racing games really on there. And I think PS1 did have some good. I used to love Test Drive. They were great games on the PS1. It's also important to note that the Japanese lineup for the PlayStation Classic can be slightly different. They're focusing more on the role-playing games and side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups, which is not a surprise, really. So I'll quickly read through the different games on the Japanese lineup for the PlayStation Classic. Ark the Lad 1 and 2, Armored Core, Devil Dice, G Darius, Gradius Gaiden. What else is new? Parasite Eve, Persona, Resident Evil, Saga Frontier, and there's a few different games there, which makes sense because different interests in Japan. So I'd be interested to know if anyone listening is going to be picking up a PlayStation Classic, whether this appeals to anyone. Obviously, it's being released in perfect time before Christmas, the 3rd of December, so plenty of time before old Saint Nick arrives. £89.99, maybe a bit steep, but it actually is quite a bit steep, really. When you think about, well, I don't know, thinking about it, like, if you had a PlayStation Vita, if anyone out there has got a PlayStation Vita and they wanted to play these games and download them from the PS1 Classics part of the store, each one's probably going to set you back about £2. So, I mean, just for the games on Vita, probably about 40, 50 quid. So you're basically paying about 30 extra quid for the little console. Which, I mean, looks nice, but I mean, once again, the PlayStation 1 never really looked nice either. It was quite an ugly console to look at. It was just a grey box. It was never nice. I'm just, this isn't for me, this one. I just don't really understand it. It's a bit random. A lot of people, when it was first announced, were a bit like, why are Sony bothering with this? It seems a bit random. Why not just do more backwards compatibility rather than doing this? But there you go. I've just thought, Chris, haven't you been playing Red Dead Redemption this week?
Say again, sorry, you cut out.
Haven't you been playing Red Dead Redemption this week?
I have, Colin.
Why?
But because I've only put a couple of hours in, and I wanted to wait until I put more time in before we talk about it. Plus, it's a busy week. Plus, I don't feel like I've really experienced enough of the game to have like a strong feeling about it. But I am enjoying what I have played so far, even though there is a character in the camp called Pearson, and he's a prick, and I'm a little bit annoyed.
And is Pearson his first name or the last name?
I don't know. I think it's his first name. I don't know actually.
No, that's all right then. As long as it's not the first name. So you haven't drawn any penises in the snow yet?
Well, not in the game, no.
No. Brilliant. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are with that. And I mean, I guess that leads on to one of the stories I was going to very quickly mention about, unless you've removed. Oh no, it's here. How Red Dead Redemption 2 is the second biggest launch of the year, behind FIFA 19. So there you go. And I saw another article somewhere that it's made more money than the Avengers did. Infinity War made in its first week of release.
God, that's mad.
Insane how big this is. I mean, people aren't surprised that this is this is behind FIFA, because apparently FIFA sells like hotcakes in Europe. But it sold more than the new COD, Black Ops 4, and it's outsold World War II, which came out last year as well, Call of Duty. So yeah, it's selling amazingly. Like the amount of money it's made already. I don't know whether this was a correct figure, but I swear I saw like it's made about $800,000 already, which is. Maybe it was more than that, almost $1 million. I don't know, but it was a lot of money they've made, and everyone is talking about it. I keep seeing so many memes online of like people saying how they've left behind Spider-Man to play Red Dead.
Yeah, it's really funny, isn't it? All this like, it's very funny. I love that stuff.
I need to actually finish the first one, then I can start contemplating playing the second one. I need to get back into that. I'll not play that in a few weeks. Annoying. Good, looks fun. Looks good. Right. I want to quickly talk about Pokemon Go. So, Pokemon Go is a game that is really fun, really good. It was big back in the day, and it's still big now, but not as well discussed as it was back in the day. But they've had a Halloween event which ends soon, and they've had new research tasks, special research tasks, and the name of it was a spooky message. And I was a little bit disappointed by it. I completed it. There was only 2 levels to it, 2 different stages of research missions, and at the end of it, you got a Spiritome, which is a big, creepy, smoking, gas-like Pokemon. And it was a lot of throwing berries at Pokemon and catching Pokemon. It was, honestly, I don't think I've ever caught so many Pokemon in one day. It was insane. It was. I mean, I don't know. Have you done the spooky message yet?
Yeah, I finished it yesterday. I think it was okay. Like for anyone listening as well, depending on when you're listening, if you're into Pokemon Go and you've not started the quest yet, you do need to start it soon because it expires on Thursday the 1st. So make sure, like, basically check it as soon as you've heard this. Yeah, it was okay. I think the tough one was visit 8 Pokestops you haven't visited before.
Yeah, those ones were always a bit of a bitch, especially.
Well, I've never had that before. Luckily, I was away. I was in Scotland, so like I was in new territory, which was good. But yeah, it must be really tough if you're like rural player or something.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's nice to have these new ones when it's different seasons. But I just wish it'd been a bit longer and a bit more challenging. That would have been good. But I guess because it was a limited one, they couldn't really make it, could they? Hopefully there'll be another one for Christmas. But also from tomorrow, look at the time, 1 p.m. PDT and 7 hours, so about 8 o'clock our time, 7 o'clock our time. Field research is the Pokemon you get at the end of a field research task. If you get the 7 stamps, is changing, and you'll be able to get Shedinja. Which is a bug ghost type Pokemon. So if you've got the package ready, if you've got the 7 days of stamps and you're waiting, probably best to wait till tomorrow so you can get a new Pokemon. So that's cool as well. And we've also got details of the community day as well. We probably mentioned this before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The community day is Saturday the 10th of November, and it's going to be based. It's useless, like saying the name of this one. Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil, that's the one, yeah. So that's going to be the focus of the November one. Cyndaquil will appear more frequently in the wild. Lure modules last 3 hours. And if you evolve Quilava, is it Quilava?
Yep, Quilava.
Quilava, up to 1 hour after the event to obtain Typhlosion, that know a special move. I'm not getting confused about that. I'm just getting confused about Typhlosion. That's a bloody nightmare thing to say, but there you go. So that's on the 10th. That's a week on Saturday, so look out for that. I think the last one was the full weekend, wasn't it? It was both days, but this one is just on the Saturday.
The last one was just on the Sunday.
I swear there was one that was the weekend. Was that a couple of months?
There has been a weekend one. The Evie one was the full weekend, but
Oh,
Belden was just the Sunday, I think.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That was quite recent, wasn't it? So this is going to be between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So a couple of hours there. Same as always. So look out for that. So that's your Pokemon Go news. But there's something else I want to talk about, which is related to Pokemon Go. And this has been the news for a couple of weeks now. But obviously we didn't have a proper podcast last week, so I'm talking about it now. So, Chris, your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Yes, I'm aware of the teachings of the good Lord.
Well, are you interested in catching saints?
Is in Matt Letizier?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good reference. I wonder if anyone out there gets that.
Thank you.
I'll be really. If anyone out there understands that reference, please let us know because I'll be very impressed.
Matt Letiz, as we used to call him.
Letizier, yeah. Not doing too well this season, are you?
Oh, always try and walk it in.
That's the problem. So this article is from the BBC, and we have news about a clone of Pokemon Go. Yeah, BBC, who are they? So this article starts off by saying that Pokemon Go has raked in over £1.5 billion in revenue since 2016. Which is insane. That is a lot of money. But there's been loads of clones of Pokemon Go. Loads of people tried to copy the whole. I've forgotten what's the name of it called. Where it's geo mapping or whatever it's called. Where...
Yeah, like geo hunting. Did you see? Side note: there's a Ghostbusters clone that came out last week. That's really quite good.
I'm not surprised. So the latest one is a bit weird. It's from the Catholic Church, which is strange, and it's called Follow GC Go, which I assume means Jesus Christ. So follow GC, not G, sorry, JC.
I was going to say, it's not GC.
GC6. Yeah. On my, do you still have Time Hop? Do you
no, because I'm not 12.
I still have Time Hop. I've got like a over 600-day streak. I'm loving it. But it came up a few days ago, like that song, Like a G6, was #1 like 8 years ago or something. That's crazy. Do you remember that song?
Like I do.
Yeah.
Like a G6. Yeah, I do.
Anyway, so this version, Follow JC Go, it's a Christian take on the game. It lets players catch saints or Bible characters instead of the little Japanese monsters. It's the brainchild of Thundercleon Rampon Pane, a Catholic evangelical group which made it in preparation for World Youth Day 2019, a Catholic youth event taking place in Panama in January. And as with Pokemon Go, it uses players' smartphones' camera to take in their surroundings. This then superimposes digital characters. I like this bit. But you're more likely to find Saint Peter than Pikachu. And you can progress through the game by answering religious quiz questions when they meet a saint. So there's an extra layer to it. It's not just that you catch saints. You have to actually answer questions about the Bible and things like that. So there you go. And this is available on the App Store and on Google Play. So there's no excuse. We should all be playing Follow JC Go. In fact, I'm going to download it right now because I want to get me some saints. Like Matt Letizier. Oh, you are so funny.
Speaking of mobile games.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw this, Colin, but today, old school RuneScape released on the iOS and Android store. And if you've not played RuneScape before, this is one of the OG top-down online kind of multiplayer dungeon crawler, grindy hack and slashy type games. And honestly, I downloaded this to give it a try at lunchtime today at work, and it runs really well. It's so smooth. It's really easy to control. Obviously it's RuneScape how you remember it, but for a mobile generation. And I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be like I was slightly worried about it, but it's actually really good fun and reminds me a lot of playing RuneScape back in the day.
This isn't the same servers, is it, as the original one?
No, I don't think so, because it's very vanilla. Whereas I assume the servers, the kind of more recent ones, were much more kind of further down the game's sort of timeline. I haven't played the recent ones though, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I want to play more of this. It's really fun so far. What I played, it's the only thing I would say is a lot of the usernames are taken. So quick if you want to play, because you probably won't get a good username.
So you're saying if you don't get your username, people are likely to just delete it and give up altogether?
No, but what I'm saying is it's surprisingly busy. So if you think this is something you might be keen to do, get in and play and register Colin J. Byrne, and then forget about it. But yeah, I mean, I've literally played like 20 minutes, but it was really what I played was really good fun. And very nostalgic and very easy to play. So I'm going to give it more of a try over the week, and then I'll report back next week with more info. It's free as well.
Yeah, I've just downloaded it now. I was never a big fan of RuneScape back in the day. I played it every now and then. I tried it out once because everyone was talking about it at my old school, and I remember I created my character. I just went walking off, and I kept walking until I got into this forest, and I got killed by a dragon. I never played it again after that.
Oh,
yeah, wasn't a good ending, really.
There was a. Do you remember one that was called like Adventure Quest or Battle Quest or something? Battle Quest Online?
I don't really remember that, but it sounds like something there would have been.
Anyway, yeah. Whilst we're talking mobile,
yeah,
very quickly because it doesn't deserve a lot of attention. iOS 12.1 is out. You can download it. I've downloaded it now. I haven't installed it yet. And a big feature of this game, of this update is group FaceTime, which sounds quite fun.
Yeah, that's something they should have implemented a long time ago, because it's something that Skype's done obviously for years and years, and it just seems like something that they would have implemented, because I can't think it takes much to add in. I'm surprised it's taking this long, but yeah, I'm well keen for that. Well keen.
They've also added 70 new emoji, including skateboard, parrot, gingers, and redheads.
A raccoon, a llama,
raccoon.
Skateboard.
Yeah, you can watch it. There's a nice kind of GIF you can watch on the.
Oh, the bagel one is the best. Gonna be using that a lot. You know what I mean?
And they've added the ability to have a dual SIM, so a second digital eSIM, as well as depth control for cameras. So it's only a little update, but might be worth checking out.
A little update with big features.
What else is news, Colin?
What else is news, Chris? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there is so much more news to get through. Well, it's actually not that much. A small bit I just want to quickly mention for Nintendo Switch. Fallout 76 is a game that's coming soon, and people are very excited about it. Bethesda have come out and said that it's not coming to Nintendo Switch, and it was along the lines of it just wasn't doable. They said that they're always looking at bringing their games to Nintendo Switch. They always consider it, but they realized with Fallout 76 that it just wasn't doable. They don't really go into any specific reasons as to why. Maybe because the system can't cope with how big the game's going to be. But it's a shame. Seems like, obviously with Skyrim being out on Nintendo Switch, this game would have been like a good fit as well. But Fallout 76 is coming out on November 14th for Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4. It's in beta at the moment. So Fallout, I've never played Fallout. Don't know much about Fallout. Looks like there's
Colin, it's so good.
Is that the one that came out a couple of years ago and everyone was obsessed with, like Fallout 4 or something?
Yeah, Fallout 4 was a fairly recent title for PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah, but it's good to see that Bethesda are really interested in the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, Skyrim, Doom, and Wolfenstein 2 all came to Switch, but maybe Fallout 76 was one step too far, unfortunately. Anyway, which means I will definitely never play it because it's not on Switch. So there you go. Chris, what else is there? What else is there to talk about? What have we got?
We have got a little bit of sales data stuff. According to Eurogamer, the Nintendo Switch has now outsold the Nintendo GameCube, which is mad. Given how little time the Switch has been out, the Switch now sold 22.86 million units. Whereas the GameCube ended on 21.7. And interestingly, you'll remember as well, Nintendo wanted to sell 20 million units by this year. That was their big target. So, yeah, that's pretty good. And some interesting sales figures. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze sold 1.67 million units. Mario Tennis Aces 2.16 million. Super Mario Odyssey is the best-selling Switch game with 12.17 million sold. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on 11.7, and Breath of the Wild on 10.2 million. So yeah, some interesting numbers there. And there's also I don't know if you saw this, Colin. Well, I know you did because you put it in the link of the podcast. On IGN, but other places, Nintendo have announced that Fortnite has been downloaded on nearly half of all Nintendo Switch systems worldwide, which does mean that it's, if it was a paid thing, it'd be the most popular game on the Switch, but it's not paid free to play, which is partly why it's so downloaded.
Because of the hype, people probably there's probably a lot of people who've downloaded it, played it once, and not touched it again, like me.
Yeah, but still 11.5 million. I mean, that's okay, it's slightly less than Mario Kart 8, slightly more than Breath of the Wild. God, yeah, it's huge.
Well, yeah, Breath of the Wild, like that sold 925,000 units for Switch, but there was only 906,000 Switches that had been sold. So people were buying Zelda before they even had a Switch, which is crazy. Crazy numbers there. Crazy numbers. You've sort of fallen out of love with Fortnite, haven't you? You haven't mentioned.
Yeah, it's just I talked about it a little bit last week, but like I don't have the drive to go back to it because it's become a very different game than these things happen. Like, and it'll come in waves, won't it? And something will happen where I'll jump back on again. But I was so into it over the summer that I think like peaks and troughs.
You kept messaging me asking me to play it, so
yeah, and you kept not playing because you're a prick.
I was playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Last bit of news, Colin.
Yeah.
Very briefly, is that Diablo 3 comes out Friday, and Diablo 3 Eternal Collection for Switch, and the reviews right now, it has a Metacritic score of 87, which is really good. Really high reviews, lots in 10s even. Yeah, I'm really keen for this. However, I have decided I am probably going to wait for Black Friday because I think it might well get a Black Friday price cut.
Good plan. It's not long now.
Yeah, not far. So it's November the 16th, I want to say, or 17th.
Oh no, it's like 27th, isn't it? 22nd.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a bit later.
Yeah, it could be. So yeah, I will get it on Black Friday, I think. But yeah, keen.
Nice. Good shout, man. Good shout. So, is there anything else that we need to talk about?
I think that's everything. Just to stress, tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Are you going to watch it live?
No.
All right.
I'll just watch the recap on ye old Twitter.
Yeah, for sure. If Banjo is confirmed tomorrow,
we riot.
No, we don't riot. We party like it's 1969
or 1999.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to watch it live because I'll be at work, or if I'm going to wait till I come back from work and then get to watch it all. But I don't know if I'll be able to avoid spoilers.
Yeah. Or does it matter if you get spoilers? Because surely you just want to know the cold hard facts.
No, because I want to watch the reveals happen authentically.
Yeah.
I guess I could watch it at work and just leave it running like in the corner.
You could, yeah. I think you should do that and then get sacked. It'd be great. Anyway, excited for that, and we'll give you all the download next week when no one will care anymore because it was a week ago.
Can't wait. That's been Heroes for Handheld Way for 5 years.
Oh,
that's how it'll be for the next 5 years.
Oh boy! Thank you for listening, everybody. Guys, if you want to get in contact with us, if you want to discuss anything that we've discussed on this week's podcast, there are so many ways. If you want to email us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com is the best bet for you there. You can go to heroesofhandheld.wordpress.com, go to contact us, follow the information there, and click through on the form, and then you can send your messages straight to us. We're on Twitter @Handheld Podcast. We're on Facebook, all over social media. Just search Heroes of Handheld Podcast. We like to tweet throughout the week on Twitter, so check us out on there @Handheld Podcast. And I think that's your lot. I think we've given the people what they came to get. We've given them the handheld gaming news. They're educated. They know what's going down. And to be fair, there's not much else we can give them. We are spent. We are done. We've done our job.
Colin, it's been a pleasure.
It has. It's always a pleasure. It's always a good time.
You would love it. It's so annoying because I know how much you'd enjoy it.
I'm just winding you up. I love Queen. I'm actually a massive Queen fan.
Go and see it then, you coward.
I love the DFS advert with It's a Kind of Magic. Anyway, right. Thank you for listening, everybody. Back next week, same time, same place. Stay cool. Enjoy playing handheld gaming devices. Goodbye.
Oh, I need to hit the stop broadcast.
Yeah, Chris.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. It's